Hello, champs. Thanks for tuning in again today for our seventh episode of our seven-part series on how to escape the graduation trap. Over the last six episodes, we've talked about different steps you need to follow to be able to escape the graduation trap and not fall into the statistics of a lot of graduates who are done with school and struggling to do what next. But today we'll be rounding it up with final episode and just bringing everything together. So let's dive in. So the first thing you need to understand in as a graduate or college student that wants to escape the trap, the first thing you need to focus on is you need to start preparation early, right? And how do you start preparation early? The first step is one, research industries. So very very important, and I think I always tell people this a lot. Take advantage of if you have a school that has guidance counselors and things like that, or even mentors or uncles or people around you that can help out. It's very, very important that you have that conversation with them on the different areas or different industries that you can work in, that you can function in, that you can build a career in. So once you're able to identify one or two, you don't have to just stick to one. You can have a few at hand. The first thing you need to do is research those industries. You need to know where you want to work as early as possible. Have an understanding of the different industries, what opportunities do they offer, what are the requirements in terms of qualifications, what are the retirements in terms of sacrifice, how much effort is required. People who want to work in investment banking, for example, know that it's not your typical 9 to 5. You don't close after work and say, okay, hey, 5 o'clock, I'm going. No, you have to put in the extra hours. If not, you're not gonna grow in it. However, the reward is also that high because you make way more money than that. So it might not be for you. You might just be someone who wants to work for government and take, less stress in your life. Some want to run CPA firms. Whatever it is, you need to do your research early and identify the ones that are of big interest to you. The next step is to develop a resume. Now you know where you want to work. You have a rough idea of the kind of places you want to work. You need to start documenting what you've done in terms of your experience, your skills that you've acquired, and whatever trainings you've done. You need to create your first resume if you don't have one already. I guess by this time you should have one, but very, very important. You need to tailor your resume. Now, one big mistake a lot of people make is they use one resume to apply to different organizations, different industries. Sometimes it works, most times it doesn't because the world has changed now. Recruiters want to see what value you bring, and it's your best interest to tailor what you've done that aligns with that organization. So it's very, very important that you tailor your resume, highlight the skills that relates to that particular organization that will help you stand out. If you've done something like maybe working during your break or whatever it is, you worked at McDonald's, you worked at any of these fast food quick service restaurant, it'll be a good point on your resume when you're applying for an organization in that industry. But it might not be relevant to an organization that is maybe investment banking that is focused on purely financial services. So you need to also figure out what have I done in the past that really puts me in a better light when I'm speaking to this organization. Very, very important. Tailor it to those particular roles. The next thing you need to work on is your personal branding. So I've seen this happen a lot, and I've experienced it with one or two people. Like just out of curiosity, looking at someone's resume, you just type out their names, and some of us, the kind of pictures you see people put online these days. Someone who wants to work in a bank, for example, is already by the time you search for their names online, you see them with drunk videos, doing funny stuff, getting in trouble. Automatically things like that are not in your good interest. So you need to figure out how to get rid of some of those pictures that are not putting you in good lights. Then at the same time, you also need to define who you are as a person. Like what is your personal brand? What is your online presence? You need to have a LinkedIn profile. You know, who are you? Let people be able to find you out in some of the best professional networks in the world. It tells us to look for a professional picture, not that picture when you're having a bad hair day. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. So you need to figure out who am I as a brand and make sure that that brand really tells your story. And it's very important that it's built towards where you want to go with your career. Very, very important. Next is save money. So you need to build a financial cushion which can ease your transition. Look, when you're done with school, it's a different ballgame entirely. You might be lucky to have parents that give you money. You might not be. You might need to figure out start making money and earning, some money for yourself. But it's very, very important that you learn to start saving early because you might need some cash for things before the real money starts to roll in terms of your paycheck and things like that. So you need to start saving early, build a financial cushion early enough that can help you out of any quick financial crisis you might get into. The next is you need to practice interview skills. See, um, practice helps everybody develop. It's all about the reps. It's all about the reps in anything you do in life. You need to put in the reps, put in the repetition. Because every time you do something, you find a better way of doing it. That's the way it works. So if you practice very well for your mock interviews, by the time you go for an interview, and one of the beautiful things about it takes away that anxiety because we all experience it when you're going for an interview. There's always that anxiety. Am I good enough? Am I going to say the wrong words? Have I covered every base I'm supposed to cover for this interview? So you need to practice enough so that by the time you get to the interview, it's smooth sailing for you. The next thing is keep up with industry trends. So there's a lot happening these days. As a matter of fact, if you look at recent trends in terms of if you're a finance person like me, you need to understand the effects of things like interest rates going up and down, things like change of government, for example, in the US, what's happening economically in Canada regarding the Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, the United Kingdom, what's happening with the new governments in place that came in around July, Russia, Ukraine war, uh, what just happened in Syria. So many things happening around you. As a finance person, you need to ask yourself, how does this impact on the business I'm going to go work for? So, for example, if you are looking at a company that's based in Canada and Donald Trump is threatening with a tariff, you know, to increase tariff for exports from Canada to the US, how does that affect the organization you're going to be working for? Does it affect their revenue lines, and all that? How do you think they can mitigate? It's just for your knowledge, and those are things that you can even bring up during the interview to show that, oh, okay, you're abreast and you're really, really interested in working in that organization. The crash of the loonie, Canadian dollar to the US dollar, what's going on? How does it impact on importers? How does it impact on exporters? Those are things you need to also be aware of as a finance person, just like me. Like I said, if you're in the finance industry, and if not, whatever is happening in your industry in terms of consumption, construction, construction, in terms of artificial intelligence, how much of AI is going to disrupt whatever industry you're going into. Very, very important that you keep yourself abreast of what's happening in the industry. And last but not the least, set your mind on success. The earlier you start, the more confident you'll be. And that's how it is. You always need to ask yourself, how do I give myself an edge above the other people that I'm going to be competing with? It's very, very important that you take this serious, and I wish you the best as you build your career early enough. Take quick decision and avoid the graduation trap. Thank you so much for being part of the whole episode and the whole series. See you at the next set of series. Thank you.